dropped this back in Black Mesa. Good luck out there, buddy.
I thought my life was over. I had no purpose. I found that I couldn't sleep at night. Then I realized there is more Half-Life to review, the PC or definitive version of Half-Life 2 to be exact. And yeah, it's still just as satisfyingly awesome nearly 10 years after its release. And in that time, many have explained why it's so great, so there's not much I can really add. But just in case you haven't played Half-Life 2, let me explain yet again why it should be played by everyone. Believe it or not, I tried to avoid fanboy gushing in a review. That being said, it is very hard to find any significant faults with Half-Life 2. Sure, the loading interruptions can be a little jarring and long, but considering the fact that the game is essentially continuous, they can be easily excused. And this may surprise, but it does take second place to the original Half-Life for me. I may be alone there, but I can definitely acknowledge Half-Life 2's technical superiority, which applies to both gameplay execution and, obviously, graphics. First of all, Half-Life 2 looks great. The facial details are impressively expressed in characters, and this can be seen almost immediately upon starting the game. Of course, graphics are a huge step up from the original game, which was released 6 years prior, but the world is more significant in premise rather than because of technical execution. Half-Life was confined to the Black Mesa research facility. Although certain areas looked unique, the general theme was that of, well, a research facility. Half-Life 2's story takes Gordon Freeman out of the research facility, and instead you take control of the new protagonist years after the initial Black Mesa incident. The alien race, known as the Combine, have taken over the planet, and thus created a typical military-controlled police state dystopian future. But instead of now being confined to a dystopian metropolis, the game also takes Freeman to coastlines, canals, and zombie-infested towns. Half-Life 2's journey and sense of progression certainly contribute to the game's ethereal appeal and represent a change from the original Half-Life's escape theme. Of course, there's a much more tangible appeal to Half-Life 2. Well, as tangible as digital murder can be. The game retains its hard-to-describe shooting feel, but I can say that shooting is responsive and satisfying regardless of the weapon and inability to aim down the sights. The targets are changed up as well. Instead of the more outlandish aliens of its predecessor, Half-Life 2 adds a second helping of humanoid foes that more closely resemble the Marines of the first game. It's not necessarily a good or bad thing, but the improved physics that come along with it certainly make a kill feel more significant. The relatively mild puzzle and platforming emphasis is here, and does a lot to set the game apart from a pure first-person shooter standpoint, along with a few unique weapons. Certain sections of Half-Life 2 also take a more explorative approach. The game is still very linear, again, not a bad thing, but a few chapters allow access to a vehicle of some kind, a large open area, and some optional areas to look into. It's nothing that greatly contributes to a major aspect of the game, except for an achievement, but it's done well and it's appreciated. Half-Life 2 does nearly everything right. Each chapter provides a new experience or gimmick, but unique and enriching gimmicks. So not gimmicks, let's say gameplay evolutions. And those gameplay evolutions also make Half-Life 2 so impressive. It doesn't just feel like an improved sequel, but its own separate stage in the evolution of Half-Life. Hopefully, we'll see the next one soon, but that's irrelevant. As with the best games, it's hard to put exactly into words what makes Half-Life 2 great. Sound familiar? Well, it should, and it's true in my humble opinion. But regardless of opinion, Half-Life 2 should be played by everyone, if not to just see what people were, are, and will be talking about.